What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. Welcome to the fourth video, I think it is, where we're going to set up the GBA toolkit for Windows. So here we're going to make our own Game Boy games. So first we are going to go to devkitPro. We're going to get started and we're going to be installing devkit ARM, which is one of the tool chains that is part of devkitPro. Now Windows, you guys are pretty lucky. You have it easy. We're going to use this thing we'll get to later, but you can just download the graphical installer, which why would you not? It's super simple to use, and we can just go ahead and run that. That's going to install our tool chain that we were talking about. I don't know why the screen blacks out, but it was just asking the administrator to approve, that happens on Windows. And then I'm just going through some settings in the installer. We can uncheck all of these because all we need is the GBA development. So we're not going to be developing for any other platform. And we'll just go ahead, go through the installation process. It's going to take a little bit, and you'll notice something funky here. Permission denied, permission denied. This is all weird, and I didn't really understand what was going on with that. You can donate too if you want. Thinking about it, honestly, support to the developers, right? So something funky with that permission. So what I just did there is I'm reinstalling it because I don't know what just happened with that. So once we reinstall, you'll actually notice something different. You see, it will warn you that these programs are missing. You'll see those 4 warnings. There's these programs that were missing, so I'm thinking that did something. So definitely reinstall this after you've installed. Then go ahead, restart your computer. And once it's restarted, we are going to open up Internet Explorer again. We're going to get this fun little program called Programmer's Notepad. Kind of a funny name, but it is the Programmer's Notepad, and it's just a great program for editing source code. So go ahead, run the installer, and it's kind of like your Xcode for Mac. I guess you guys wouldn't know what that is if you're on Windows, but yeah, just going to go ahead, install this thingy, and just kind of click the default settings is what I did. No need for Python right now. And we can go ahead and finish that. Now we're going to go to Tonk. Tonk is a great resource for learning Game Boy Advance development. And we're going to be using one of the example projects for our sound development. So make sure to download that. You can download it with the Tonk code zip. All of these links are going to be in the description, by the way, on my YouTube. If you're on IGTV, you can just go ahead, go to my YouTube to find the links. So go ahead, extract this Tonk code, and we can delete the zip once we're done with that. So we're going to go ahead, go into the Tonk code later. We'll need that. So now we're going to download the mGBA. This is going to be our emulator, and it's very good for Windows, one of the best out there. Now you notice I clicked on the 64-bit installer, which you need to know the difference between 64-bit and 32-bit. Which system are you running? You should look up how to tell on Google, because that does matter a little bit, so make sure that you have that straight. I am running 64-bit, so that's why I chose that installer. And we don't need to launch it right now, so I just uncheck that. Okay, now we're going to go to where is our devkitPro folder. It's in that directory you just saw me going. And here we can see we have this MinW64. Again, this is where you need to know the difference between the two, 64 versus 32-bit. Which one do you have? Now, this right here is MySys2, so it's kind of a neat shell where you can run Unix-based commands on Windows. So definitely going to need that in this case. You don't need to know what it means, just know that we need this. And so who am I kind of tells us, we can run these fun little commands. You press enter to run a command. You can use the arrow keys to navigate between letters and whatnot. So just kind of a way we talk to the computer besides clicking and dragging the mouse. This is another way to talk to the computer. That's kind of important. So now we're in that example code directory, and I'm just going to go ahead. This is the way of telling the shell to go to that directory, cd, and if we do ls, you can see all of the files inside of that directory, so we know we're in the right one. And we can go ahead, open up that programmer's notepad, and we can actually open up the pnproj file inside of here. So it's inside that ext sound1 demo, and there it is. We got our pnproj. And here we can see there's our source code, which is in C, and just kind of a nice way to edit it. It's color-coded and everything. And here we have our Makefile, basically everything that tells our source code how it's going to be put into that GBA file. And you can even save files through this programmer's notepad, so it's kind of nice. Now what I did there, I tried to run make, which is going to compile this example program, but it didn't work. It gave me this little error here, which I'm going to paste into Google, and you'll see it takes me to this website, which is telling us what we need to do to fix the problem, basically. Again, I'll leave this in the description, so make sure to check that out. But here what's going on, this is important. This is inside of our Makefile, which again tells the compiler how to make our source code. Now, we need this library here, libtonk. We're using that library for the Game Boy sound to access some of its functions, some neat defines that just make our code and lives a lot easier. So what we can do, replace those paths, and now if we save this, we can actually go to those paths. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to go through the file explorer. Or first I'm going to show you guys, those are what those variables actually stand for, the devkitPro. You can see it's actually a path on your PC. So that's how we actually get to those libraries. They actually exist in a directory. So just important to understand that. So that's what those devkitPro variables stand for. Okay, so now let's try that make again, try running it. And here, even if we do make clean, we still get this error, GBAFIX, no such file or directory. Now, GBAFIX is a program that validates the GBA file. It's the last step needed to successfully run it. So that's very important. So what we can do is go to this website that I just showed you here, copy in this command that's at the bottom, and it fixes it somehow. I don't know why, but it just does. So if we try running make clean and then rerun make again, you'll see this ROM fixed. That's what you want to see at the end. And now we actually have a working Game Boy Advance ROM that we just compiled on our own. So in theory, we can run this on a Game Boy Advance, which is pretty freaking amazing. So we can double click this. It's going to open up inside of our emulator we downloaded. And if you want to see what controls that we use, you can go to the settings and then keyboard, and you'll see that's how all of the controls are mapped. And you can even change them too. So if I want to go up an octave, I use the S key, which stands for the right. I can also go down octaves. I can use the arrow keys to play through notes. It's pretty amazing. I just love the sound of this 8-bit stuff. I love it. Classic. That's why we're going to dive deep in this series. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.